Alright guys, so in this video we're going to have a look at Restoration Shaman Talents Row 1. And I'm going to go through each one and look at the skills it affects, and we'll have a look at how much healing it does and whether it's a good pick or not, or what exactly it is a good pick for, what kind of situation it does well in. So the first one here is Torrent, and this increases the initial heal from Riptide by 30%. So if we have a look at Riptide, it does 6,700 healing, that's the initial heal, and then an additional 8.8 thousand over 18 seconds. So we can see here without the talent that actually it does more healing over time than it does in the initial aspect. And if we get the talent, that increases the healing by about 2,000. So now it's more 50-50 initial and over time. And it's on a 6-second recharge. I actually have Echo of the Elements here, so that means I have 2 charges of it. But let's think about it if we didn't have 2 charges. On 6 seconds and you increase how much healing it does by 2,000, that's not that much of an increase. It's only about 400 healing per second. And in terms of what kind of numbers you should be putting out or what you should be hoping to get from talents, 400 extra healing per second is not really enough. So unless you really love Riptide and Riptide is your life, it's probably not such a strong choice. On to Undulation. Every third healing wave or healing surge heals for an additional 50%. Now this is pretty reasonable. If you average it out across the 3 spells, that's about a 16% increase in the healing from these 2 spells. And as both of these spells are your main single target healing spells, you're likely to get some use out of it. The problem comes in that it's conditional. So it has to be every third. It's not on command. It might not be there when you need it, and you might be running around using other spells for the situation that you're in rather than healing wave or healing surge. And in such cases, then this talent doesn't really have much benefit to you. But it can be very useful in the right kinds of situations. And it ties in very nicely with the tidal waves passive. So if you use this to increase the critical effect chance of healing surge by 45%, that pretty much gives you a coin toss. I mean, for me, I have about 15% crit, so this takes it to 60% crit chance, which makes it more than likely that it will crit. So a 50% bonus healing surge that also then crits can be very nice indeed. So hopefully I can get that going if I cast 2 healing surges here. And now cast Riptide to get the crit bonus. Let's see how much this heals for. So that's about 50,000 healing on a critical hit, and that's not taking any advantage of the deep healing mastery because I'm on full health. So on other targets it could be up to 80,000 healing on that crit if they're low enough for health. That's really nice, and you can definitely put that to a lot of use in a lot of situations. But you have to kind of prepare for it. You have to be able to cast Healing Wave or Healing Surge twice first before you can get that bonus. So the fact that it's conditional kind of takes away from how good it is, although it is definitely a very solid bonus to both of those spells. The third one we have here is Unleash Life, and this actually gives you an extra spell, and that in itself is always very helpful. I find that you definitely need to have at least a few extra spells from talents to kind of fill out your action bar, but also to kind of plug holes in each class's weaknesses. And one of the main weaknesses for shamans with their healing is their instant casts. You only have Riptide, and as we've seen before, the initial heal on Riptide is not that great. Unleash Life gives you an instant cast that has a pretty reasonable amount of healing, 13.2 thousand, compared to Healing Wave, which does 15.8. It's not that far apart, and it's instant cast. That by itself is pretty good, and it's also only on a 15-second cooldown. So just with the healing in that cooldown, the extra healing per second you get from that is pretty good. Adding on top of that, it also increases the effect of your next direct heal by 35%. And that applies to any spell you want that does direct healing. So unlike Undulation, which provides a 50% bonus but only to Healing Wave or Healing Surge, using this can provide a lesser bonus, 35%, which is still good, but to any spell. And so if you utilize that with something like Chain Heal, which does the most healing out of any of your direct heal spells, and at the moment my Chain Heal, because I'm at full health, will only heal me for about 14,276. If I apply Unleash Life first and then cast it, it should definitely get much more than that. Well, that was a crit, so that's a bad example, but it's about 19,000 when it's not critting. So that's a really nice bonus, and because Chain Heal bases its jumps, how much it heals on each jump, according to how much it healed the initial target, by using Unleash Life, you also increase the healing all targets of Chain Heal get. So you can improve your AoE healing or your single target healing by utilizing this. It's available for both, you're not restricted. And on top of that, it's a free extra instant cast healing spell on a pretty short cooldown. Now, because of all of these things, I find it really hard to not take Unleash Life. Although the difference in numbers is not so different between these two, and you can put Undulation to good use, just the utility of Unleash Life means that I can't not take it. So I hope that helps you to understand the first row, guys. Thanks for watching, and come back next time.